That's a great that's a great call out, you guys. That's like the most used phrase in post pandemic, right? You're on mute. Again, welcome everyone to the ASE Career Orientation. I am your host Gian Adato, and I'd like to know where you guys are from. Can you guys tell me where are you from? Let me know in the chat box if you are from Luzon or Visayas or Mindanao, or probably you're watching from like anywhere else in the world. Let me know in the chat box. There we go. I can see some of you coming dialing in from Butuan City, Mindanao. That's uh Jorime Jane. Hi Jane. We also have Rafi from Kidapawan City, North Cotabato. O mga Mitaga Mindanao. Hello guys. We're also seeing Mary Grace from Bacolod. Shout out to also Eunice in Palawan. Wow, where exactly in Palawan, Eunice, where are you from? I love that island. We also have from Davao City, Christy Pearl, Manimog. Hello, good afternoon. We also have all the way from Middle East. Where exactly in Middle East? Hi, Debbie, Australia, watching us from the Middle East. We also have, of course, dito lang malapit sa Pasay City. Hi, Diane Enriquez. And I'm gonna read you through that. I'm gonna say hi to every one of you here because I miss doing this, and I love doing ASC webinars, and I say I want to get your energy and just feed me that energy, guys. So let me know where you guys are coming and dialing in from and watching from. Please put it in the chat box, and I'm gonna say and greet you guys. So we also have someone here from Laguna. Hi, Joan de los Reyes. From another one from Coronadal City, hello. And Sheila May from Catanduanes, wow, in Bicol. We also have Eunice from Puerto Princesa. Oh, it is the one from Palawan earlier. Hello, from PPS. We also have Roland from Silay City. Welcome, guys. Welcome to all 49 of you here in ASC Career Orientation. Once again, I'm your host, Gian Adato, and lovely. I'm very excited to to let you guys know of what we have in store for you. I'm super excited. It's been a while we haven't done this webinar. I think it's been a month, I guess, and I'm happy that you guys are joining. I hope you didn't have any problems joining in via Teams. I hope that the technology is not getting in the way for you guys to join. I am happy to also let you know that we are being joined by our friends from Drake Meadows as well, our principal employer, Miss Liz Miller. Hello, Miss Liz. We're also being joined by some friends from our other uh, partner companies as well. And most importantly, we are being joined by our lovely speakers, our UKRN themselves. Later on, you'll meet them. Um, uh, some more 50 plus of you people are now joining in all the way from Doha, Qatar. Hi, Janice. Welcome to our webinar. So let me go right ahead and start. I guess let me know if you can see my screen. Can you click yes? Can you say yes? I think you are saying yes right now. Perfect. All right. So we are going to go ahead and today we're going to discuss about how to advance your career in the UK. Anybody here who are applying already, as a nurse or as an AHP in the UK, can you type in UK in the chat box? Type in UK now, guys. I want to see you. Are you? Oh, already. Oh, I can see a lot of people already typing in. Oh, you already have an existing application. I love it. Keep it coming. There you go. Okay. So at this point, last time we talked about working and living in the UK, right? So at this webinar, we're gonna talk about how you can actually advance your career in the UK. Kapag nandun na kayo, syempre, you talk about how we're gonna start living, working here, how I can is there a career progression for me here? right? That's the main question, because you don't want to just go there and and live and work and send money to your family and friends or loved ones in the Philippines. So you also want to kind of have advanced career progression for yourself, self-development. Yes, uso yan ngayon. Yung self-development, yung loving yourself and growing, right? So this webinar hopefully will help you when you get to the UK, advance your career, and of course, there's no other way to learn more from, of course, none other than our lovely speakers who are UKRNs themselves. All right. So I'll be your host again today. I'm Gian Adato, and I'll be taking you through the webinar for this afternoon. Just a little bit of housekeeping and reminders. Again, listen attentively and take notes if you wish, and feel free to ask questions at any time. There's the Q&A. There's two venues that you can go ahead and let us know your thoughts. There's Q&A part. You can ask questions there. We have Miss Madge here, our recruitment and engagement manager from ASC. Hi, Miss Madge, to help us answer some of your questions. We also have some of our folks here from ASC. If you're gonna ask about our processes, and of course our speakers will ask you about anything working in the UK. All right, and there's also the chat box where you can also engage with us there. All right, so there will be a time allotted for you guys to listen to our speakers, and of course answer your questions later on in the Q&A. All right, it may not be possible to answer everyone's questions, but we'll hopefully provide the full list of answers to your questions after this webinar. Okay, now I want to like briefly run you through what happened last webinar. Are you interested? Do you like to learn more about what happened last webinar? Can you type in W in the chat box? Otherwise, I won't go. I'm kidding. Okay, I can see those. All right, thank you very much. So last webinar, we talked about a lot of interesting things of working and living in the UK, and we'd like to highlight that UK is still one of the best place to work in. And ako personally, I really love the UK because of this diverse and really, I would say work-life balance in terms of like, working and living in the UK. So you can see here, there's friendly and polite people. You have the friendliest folks. And I mentioned about diversity because you can also get to work with some of the best nurses in the world. You also have a safe place there. You can live safely and securely in the UK's welcoming neighborhoods. And of course, alam naman nating lahat that UK is really a cultural powerhouse, right? It's a endless adventure with the UK's rich heritage. And of course, aside from friendly, they're also very warm and welcoming. We have our principal employer here, Drake Maddox, to really welcome you there. All the deployed nurses of ASC, Drake Maddox team will really welcome you there, right? And there's so much to see and do. The UK boasts of a huge amount of culture, and of course, hindi pa dyan kasama yung mga exciting freebies that come along with your application with us. Of course, NHS has free healthcare insurance, and of course, you have easy access to Europe, which is, of course, if mga travelers dyan, kaway-kaway, really love to travel, right? I mean, ako personally, I really love to travel and get to see all these amazing places. And what's great about it is you can access it via just a train, right? And really, really exciting if you work and live in the UK. So that's what we've been talked about in the last webinar. So this time we're going to really just delve deeper into how you can really advance your career in the UK. Okay, so I'm really excited to at this point welcome you guys, our speakers, and we not just have one speaker, we have two speakers for this afternoon. Are you excited? Type yes if you are excited to learn more about advancing your career in the UK. Let me check it out if you're excited. Yes, yes. Thank you. Loreto Bangayan is excited. Christina is excited. Thank you very much for for answering. I love it that you're engaging with me, and it's really nice that we are you guys are here and spending your Thursday afternoon with us this afternoon, right? Um, okay, so let me go right ahead and introduce our speakers. But first, like I mentioned, it's not just about one speaker, we have two speakers for this afternoon. We have Miss Jem Ann Bautista, and we also have Mr. Carlson Japse. So you'll meet them one by one later. But first, we're gonna go ahead and let you guys know some of the guide questions that we've asked our speakers, so that you can really learn more and dive deeper into learning how to advance your career. So we want them to a little bit make cuento, no, of their career journey in the UK. And we also want to let them talk about their biggest challenge working in the UK, no? Because of course there are still pain points, there are still challenges, not just exclusive to UK, but everywhere, no, in the world, even in the Philippines, no. There are challenges when you work as a nurse, or in the workplace, in the hospital, wherever you are working. And here our speakers will talk about how they actually overcame them. All right. And then, of course, from the pain point now to the positive side, we'll let them talk about their biggest achievement in their career. And then, of course, what will be their advice, right, to you guys, our audience, right now, as aspiring UKRM. Sounds good? Yes? Perfect. Okay, so let me talk about our first speaker for this afternoon. I'm very excited to um, really have Mr. Carl grace us, no, this afternoon. We have um, been really lucky to have him. And before I introduce before I we have them speak for today, because he prepared a little bit of presentation for us, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Carl J. Carlson. Mr. Carlson earned a bachelor's degree in Iloilo City. Shout out sa mga taga Iloilo right now. Do we have Iloilo nurses right now in the audience? Can we see? Can you type in Iloilo in the chat box if you are from Iloilo right now? Perfect. Okay. Mr. Carl actually graduated from University of San Agustin in 2009 and has been practicing as a nurse since 2010. And now he relocated to the UK early 2019. So before pandemic pa pala to, Sir Carl, no? And he is considered Chelsea and Westminster's Hospital as his second home. Initially, he worked as a Band 5 nurse in stroke and neurology for 9 months before transitioning to a role in theater or operating room nurse sa atin as a PIC or PACO practitioner until recently lang, 2022. Seeking to specialize further, he began working as an associate clinical nurse specialist in pain management, a role that he held for over a year. Now, he completed level 7 pain management course at King's College. Wow, nag-aral pa pala siya sa King's College, and will soon commence this advanced clinical assessment course in the UK. Currently, he serves as a clinical nurse specialist in pain management and neuromodulation. It's quite a mouthful there. Please join me in welcoming our really lovely speaker for this afternoon. Please welcome Sir Carlson Jepse. Sir Carl, can we see your beautiful? There we go.
Hi, good afternoon to all my kababayans there.
Meron taga
Yeah,
Iloilo.
Yeah.
to my fellow Ilonggo, good afternoon and good morning from UK, guys, and welcome to this webinar. Thank you for introducing me, sir. That's quite an
Of course.
introduction.
I
Um,
love it. I love it. How are you there? How are you in UK first? Kumusta?
Good. It's summer here today, so at least summer has arrived in UK. So it's a bit warm
Oh,
here. So it's been humid for the past few days. So we've been really enjoying the lovely weather. It feels like a bit Philippine, so it feels good. So we love the
okay.
sun.
Oh, that's great. Sige nga, ilang degrees baka
I
talaga malapit sa UK. Malapit sa
I think
Pilipinas.
I think yesterday we had 29 degrees. It's not as bad as the Philippines, but mainit na
Yeah,
yon.
not yeah, close enough, I guess. All right. Okay. So again, welcome, Sir Carl. Thank you for joining us this afternoon or this morning in your
Yeah.
time. I'm gonna go ahead and present your little deck here. Let me know if you can see
Yeah.
there you go. Okay,
Thank you,
over
Sir
to you,
Gian.
sir.
Hello to all again, guys. Okay, I was once in your shoes probably like 5 years, more than 5 years ago now. So it's easy for me to always say yes to ASC because they've been always good and hands-on to my application to go in the UK to fulfill my dream as well to become a UK nurse. Um, it's been quite a journey, I can say, because as Sir Gian mentioned, I arrived here pre-COVID, but it was an experience. Okay, at the end of the day. Um, so, by the way, my name is Carl. I now currently work at Shelton Westminster Hospital as a clinical nurse specialist for pain management and neuromodulation. Next slide, please. So I want to share with you how did I started my career in UK and how did I somehow progress. Okay, same as you, I cannot really say that I'm already somehow quite there, but I can see and feel that I'm still sailing to my career at the moment. Okay, I'm still somehow I still got goals to achieve. Okay, as long as you keep on dreaming and as long as you know what you want really in life. You will always try to find that motivation to do what you have, what you want. Okay, so I started as a band five nurse in stroke and neurology. So sort to mention as well, each trust here in the UK for sure will be very, very supportive with you, especially when you arrive here, you are adjusting to everything. And first priority there is to pass your OSCE exam so that it will give you license to practice as a band five in UK. So after I passed my OSCE, I started in stroke and neurology. So it's a ward-based experience. So for me, it's very important because it creates and gives you that experience. I think it's like it gives me the backbone knowledge of what really is the practice in UK all about. So in the ward, you learn the different policies and protocols, for example. You also been giving what are the proper referral system, what are the different placements for the patients as well. I think it's very important aspect of your career to start in the wards because it will give you really that sort of good experience. Okay, don't worry in terms of like nursing practice. The basics will always be the same in terms of nursing care, but of course in here you got different protocols and policies. And I think having that experience in the ward, trying your best to really learn from it, you will have good opportunity. And then when I somehow felt confident in myself that I'd like to progress, I want to specialize into something, I found a role that is opened for theaters. We call operating a department here in UK as theaters. So I applied for a role in post anesthetic care units. I become a recovery nurse for almost somehow nearly 3 years. Okay, my career there. So in there, I had specialized, for example, in handling airway management. So it's more a bit of an advanced experience. So now you got your experience from the ward, okay, your basic knowledge all from all of them, and then I want to somehow make it like I'd want to specialize something in my practice. So I applied in there because somehow I know from the very beginning that I want to be a specialist in the future because back again to my experience in the ward in stroke and neurology, we deal with patients with lots of pain. Okay, most of the patients there really got pain. So I think that is something that I know that I will be passionate about. So I've somehow studied what will be my pathway in order to reach that career, for example, career progression. So I said, I'd like to somehow specialize into anesthetic so that somehow I'll know different kinds of analgesia. It will give me more knowledge and experience about how to handle them. And then after that, probably when I gain that confidence, when I feel ready for myself, okay, somehow I'd like to progress to become a clinical nurse specialist in UK. So I'm very grateful to my experience in theaters in Paco because it's fast-paced experience. Okay, so patients from operating theaters come to you, give your care there, make them comfortable. For example, establish good airway before bringing and stabilize the patient before bringing back to the ward. So after that one, I now then to my dream job. um, when they actually asked me on my second year in theaters if I'd like to become a clinical nurse specialist for pain management because they will be opening an associate post. But by that time, I felt I still need to learn more from theaters in terms of like anesthetic experience. But then on the second attempt that they asked me to apply for it, then I grabbed the opportunity. So in 2022, I joined them. I started as an associate. And then after that one, um, I think somehow here in the UK, it's a very good experience because when they see your potential and if you know what you want really, They will guide you through on how you will achieve or attain it. Okay, there will be loads of educational opportunities here. They will send you guys to universities, for example. Um, Also, if you want to study anything, just probably talk to your manager or to your what we call here your PDN or your practice development assessor or guide, for example, and then they will send you to universities, whatever course you would like. If you want something, a course for management, then you can have. If you want something to specialize for stroke, for example, then you can have that course. There are lots of courses here. So just know what you really want within yourself. But then again, my advice, learn first the basics before somehow, because that will be your backbone or bloodline in somehow progressing your career. Okay. Next slide, please, sir. And also, I got a famous line here. So the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That was actually the quote I will always thinking or reminding myself when I was in your shoes, when I was in the Philippines doing my application. Because if I don't start now, when? So somehow, when I see this quote again, it's a good reminder for me that somehow I can say that I'm happy where I am. Okay. Next slide, sir, please. So in the next slide, I'll be somehow sharing with you what are the biggest challenges that I've encountered here. Okay, it's more of personal, probably, really, I can say. So first thing there is homesickness. I can say that homesickness always knocks my door from time to time. Even if it's like somehow more than 5 years now, of course, I still miss my family. I still miss my friends back home. I still miss the feeling of just somehow the smell of Philippines, for example, the vibe from the Philippines. Okay, but I'm really happy. So now with the technology, it makes our world so small. So there always be like you can always communicate with them. You can always do FaceTime with them, for example, or call them from Messenger. Or WhatsApp, for example. So just always communicate with your family and friends, but it will keep the bond really, really strong. And somehow it eases my homesickness. And of course, aside from that, you can always build new friendships. Okay, build new bond. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to meet and mingle other people. At the end of the day, you're making connections. Okay, and you don't know those people that you met will somehow open doors for you. Okay, like I've met a lot of people in the hospital because when I started working in the ward, I tried my best as well to work in different areas. So I'm doing bank shifts there, what we called overtime in the Philippines or extra shifts. So I've met a lot of people there. Somehow they're very they're the biggest actually help in my career because if I haven't met those people, if they haven't known me, for example, they will not offer me or somehow ask me to apply for jobs that are open within the trust or hospital. Okay. And if you're homesick, UK, okay, there's a lot in UK for you to explore. Okay. A lot of history is in here that you will really, really like. A lot of national theme parks, national parks, for example, and just create new adventures. Okay, as what Sir Gian said, I think you guys have tackled that in your previous webinar that Europe is just a neighbor countries here, so you can always just travel easily because the flights are not that expensive. Okay, and the next challenge that I encounter that time, and sometimes I still have that one, is the adjustment. Okay, I think it's the adjustment to the place, for example, it's adjustment to new country, it's adjustment to your role here, okay, as a professional. It's adjusting to the people that you will be working with, okay. But at the end of the day, it's normal, okay. Acknowledge those changes in your life and somehow try to navigate, just learn how to navigate. I mean, on how to somehow make yourself feel better. Okay, so here I can say be patient with yourself in learning the new system because in here they use different platforms, for example, different system from the hospitals, computer-based systems, recording systems, and any other databases, for example, and just enjoy the process. Okay, and not all of us are given the opportunity. If you were gonna be living abroad, you're also try to enjoy and learn other cultures. Okay, it gives you or widens your perspective in life. Okay, not just in like for example our Filipino culture, but also when you learn other cultures, it gives you like that other how you think. It will change how you think things. Okay, and as well, never stop learning. Okay, it will make you feel better. Okay. Next, on the next slide, what are going to be your biggest achievement? I think each one of us will have different definition or meaning on this one, but for me, it's more about um, First one, it's about having that new experiences or learnings and knowledge that I gained when I transferred to moved here in UK. Okay, it gave me that self fulfillment. For example, being given somehow the opportunity to study further, and your trust sponsor you to study in the university. Okay, all you just need to do is just to learn it. Okay, somehow improve yourself, hone your talents. Okay, and then somehow make that potential, okay, um, be an asset to the team, okay. And the other one there will be somehow it's the new opportunities. Really, I'm so grateful to my trust because they somehow let me develop my career. They've been always open and always giving and kind. For example, if I'm requesting something or I'd like to study or attend, for example, the symposiums. And speaking of symposiums, here in the UK, we'll be having opportunities as well to attend conventions, not just in the UK, but as well as in other countries. Um, they will send you through that, okay? Because somehow learning is a never ending process, and what you learn from that you can bring that to your practice, and hence that's an improvement to your service as well. And build network, I can say, it's really good to gain new friends that becomes your family at the end, because here I don't have much relative in United Kingdom, and my friends have been mostly my family, um, which I'm very very grateful, and I think that's my biggest achievement in life. Because in terms of career at the moment, yes, some people may say, oh, good thing you've done this, you've done that, but within myself, I'm still sailing. I always tell that of my friends. It's still an ongoing um, hunger on my goals, for example, of what I really wanted to achieve in the future. And famous quote again that I always remind myself in the past is who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. So never stop doing, okay, what you really like in life. If you wanted to go here in the UK, do your best, okay, in order somehow to make that dream a reality, okay. And know and discover what you really wanted in life, because if you know what you want, you know how to navigate, or you are the driver of your life at the end of the day. So just really really know yourself, okay. You got the key. Next slide please. And my message to you guys, so I have four really I've prepared somehow. I've asked myself as well yesterday what I can really advise you guys. So I somehow internalized, I put myself back in that time where I was just applying, okay? And somehow what are the lessons that I could potentially give it to you or share that could somehow give an impact in your plans of coming here in United Kingdom. So first, master yourself really, okay? At the end of the day, if you know truly yourself, you know what you want, okay. You know you will always be reminded of what goals you want, okay. Learn, or somehow if you don't have a goal at the moment, okay, somehow try and have that quiet moment and somehow reflect on your life, what you really wanted to become or what you want to achieve in life, okay. And next is acknowledge your strength and weakness, because if you know what you're good at, okay, that could always be your asset, okay. And also not just your strengths but as well as your weaknesses, so that your weaknesses you can turn them into potentials and somehow become a strength in the future, okay. And always somehow mastering oneself is true power, because if you know what you want really, um that I always reiterate that one, because sometimes um, I've encountered some people before that, yes, I want to become like this, but have they really thought about it? Have they really somehow realized how to achieve that goals? Okay. And never stop dreaming big and just stay positive. Okay. Um, because with this one, okay, every dream, for example, or achievement that you felt, or a goal that somehow you think, because before when I was in your shoes, my goal is to somehow, oh, I'd like to somehow reach United Kingdom to be able to practice in the UK. So now that I'm here, you will have another goal. So there's a never ending goals in life. Okay, so never stop dreaming as well. So as long as you dream, they will always give you hope. Okay, and also remind yourself a dream without action will always be a dream. So always plan, create a strategy, and have some deadline, because if you don't have some deadline, you don't know when's that gonna be happen. Okay. And it's very important. Look for mentors to guide you. Okay. At the end of the day, no man is an island. We always need advice. You always need some others people's help. Okay, and be grateful and thankful for all the achievements that you have achieved already. And next is take some rest, okay, when you're tired, but never stop. Okay, it's okay to pause. Okay, and look after yourself. It's very good here in the UK because they always give emphasis to our mental health here. Okay, when you're tired, just be honest. Okay, if you cannot fulfill a specific task, for example, just be honest and don't be shy to ask for help because they will always help you here. Okay, and they will always somehow be supportive in whatever like things you need in life. And at the end of the day, don't forget to celebrate. Okay. Don't forget to celebrate you. Don't forget to celebrate your wins in life. Don't forget to celebrate all the goals or achievements that you have somehow accomplished. Okay. And reward yourself. At the end of the day, you've been working hard. Okay. And you deserve some reward. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean a material thing, for example, but probably you can reward yourself from eating in a restaurant that you really wanted to, or visit a place somehow that you've been eyeing in the long time when you were in the Philippines, and now you got the opportunity to be able to do that. So reward yourself. Okay. And for my last slide, I think what I could say is just believe in yourself. Okay. Because if you believe in yourself, nobody can take that power away from you. Okay. Thank you for listening and hope to see you all guys here soon. Gian, I just like to ask, I think I can still have 15 minutes, but do they have, if they want to ask questions, they can ask question.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, malakas kami sa'yo, Sir Carl. Thank you very much. You are, I love the part that you said, never stop learning. And of course, yung pag-respect and learn from other cultures. Because at the end of the day, your whole day will be, I mean, most of the time of your day will be about working with them, right? When I was also working abroad, it's also about building relationships with these people, and being able to kind of use that to also hone yourself, like, and to learn. So I really love that about what you said, Sir Carl. I love that, you never stop learning, and you never kind of be open to what you learn. Kasi pagdating natin sa ibang bansa, we never know. Eh. We don't know
Yeah,
what's going to happen, right?
I think it's normal for us Filipinos to be shy at times or to be hesitant.
Yeah,
Okay, I think it's in our culture. But what really UK has taught me is that you need to voice what you really like, you feel inside you. You need to tell them because if you don't tell them,
yeah,
if you don't ask for it, for example, it will not be given. Okay, like for example, if your manager or your PDN, for example, doesn't know that you wanted to um, finish this course, for example, I wanted to do this course. It has been really my aim, for example, to become a specialist, for example, in plastics or in whatever department or special area will that be. If you're not voicing it out, they will never know it. Okay, so that's
yes,
why
it's very,
don't be
very important.
shy because in here they will always support you. They will try their best to make it happen. Okay, and I think in here they believe that if your employees or the people who works here are not happy, they won't stay. So they will really try their best if they see the potential in you and if you have the dedication somehow to contribute in improving the service, then they will give you that opportunity. Okay.
I love it. Thank you very much. I think we do have some
We got
questions here.
yeah, we got some questions here. Do you
Yeah,
experience anxiety at work and how do you yes, of course. I
I
told
love
you
that question.
with adjustment that I've shared it earlier, it comes with this. It's normal, okay, especially when you're starting a new role or when you're new to everything because you don't have much experience or knowledge of what you're doing. For example, when I started here, I feel anxious because yes, oh my God, they're all speaking English. I don't know how to somehow um, express myself fully because I've been not talking English full time before. So
Yeah,
it's all English. So there's always be something like anxiety, but at the end of the day, just keep yourself exposing to it. Okay, I keep coming to work. Okay, because this is what I want.
show up.
I ask.
Yes.
I always yes. I ask questions. Okay, what do you mean by this? They have different terms here. For example, one of my funny thing that I could share with you guys is that I'm so um, naive by that time. I don't know some terminologies that you use here in the UK. One of my patient asked me. can I have Weetabix? So I know Vicks in the Philippines, we use that to put in our heads or in our throat when we feel when we're not feeling well, for example. Good thing there will always be Filipino around as well. Or if not, I asked one of my colleagues, he said, the patient keeps asking about Bix. What is that? She wants to eat Bix. I don't know what's Bix. So it's a Weetabix. It's a kind of like a cereal here. So if I didn't
Oh,
ask, I would be just wandering around what's that all about. But don't worry,
yeah.
anxiety is always normal. Okay, you will always feel that one, but just speak up. Okay, and
Right.
somehow you will always have that support. Okay.
I love it. Thank you, sir. I think the next questions are about your English
How
exam
long?
advice.
Okay. How long did
How
you wait
long?
to be deployed after passing? So during my batch, the requirement for the English test was a bit different. It's a bit like all seven. So I had a really hard time because I always got 6.5 in my, so I did it. I took IELTS, not just one, so I can say that's a
Yeah.
secret to share. Um, so for me, like for example, after I passed my IELTS, within it was actually quick. So that's why I'm so grateful to ASA. I think it was 7 months or 8 months around that time frame. Because after I passed the language test, I took my CBT, and after that one, they sent you
I love it.
to OH and medical exams, for example. I think that's
Yes.
what happened. And then I think I'm here already within 8 months in the UK. Um,
Yeah. Okay. I think we can answer two more questions, Carl,
yeah.
and then the rest
Um,
the team can answer on behalf
yeah.
on our behalf.
Ma'am Danji, I don't know what medical cases you mean that is prohibited in UK or bowel here, but probably I leave that technicality because I don't have much knowledge in that
Yeah.
one. But what are the chances of nurses working in clinic to get hired? Just like me, I'm working in a clinic here in Middle East, and it seems that they need nurses at bedside experience. At the end of the day, okay, wherever, whatever kind of specialty you've been or you are working at the moment, when you arrive here, yes, you will always have that basic nursing knowledge, okay, or nursing care, but they will train you here, so don't worry, okay? You will have what we call here supernumerary. So this is like the time that you're like a trainee, you're shadowing someone to be able to adjust and learn the different protocols and policies of the different trusts. Okay, so don't worry about
Right.
that one. Um, I didn't had much experience before in recovery, for example, but I just took my chances. I studied it very well, and they gave me the opportunity. And then I became a supernumerary there for I think a month. And then after a month, they won't let you anyway until you feel that confident. Okay. So somehow within those period that you are supernumerary, just try your best to learn. You will not learn everything in one go, but through time, you will somehow build that confidence. So don't worry about that one. Okay. If is it true that they freeze hiring in the UK and most trust prefers other nurses kasi I'm not very sure on that one. I don't know how the process takes now, but I think it's just because there's going to be an upcoming election at the moment, so probably they're giving more emphasis or highlight on that one. But I don't know if that's true. I think I can see a lot of people are being deployed here. Actually, one of my classmates, sister, just arrived 2 months ago. How are dealing with patients there in UK matter of accepting to deal with foreigners? They're actually okay. They will always ask you, "Oh, you're Filipino," and they will try really their best as well to speak in their language. Like, "Kamusta ka?" If there are, like, for example, some of the British are really like because
That's
they're
nice.
people here. They know that we are very caring. It's in our culture that we are caring and we are polite. Okay, so they always make a joke sometimes that are most of the people in the Philippines are nurses because you guys are very good at caring for people. Regarding OSCE exam, what's the difference between the OSCE from CBT? So CBT exam is the computer-based test that you will take before you take the OSCE. So after you pass your language exam, you will take your CBT there in the Philippines, and when you arrive here,
Yeah.
we'll take your OSCE. So OSCE's exam is a practical exam. It's like your return demonstration you when you were in university there in the Philippines. So they will test you that you can be able to practice safely here in the UK. So don't worry, your trust will prepare you for that exam. They got a good support on that one. So you will attend classes, you will attend trainings before you take your OSCE exam.
Okay. I
Um,
think we can answer just one last question, Sir
yeah.
Carl.
Was I think that's all. I
Are you
think
good
so.
already? Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it. We for those questions that weren't answered, we will get to them later on. Hopefully, all of them. And thank you for putting your questions in the chat box. It means that you are engaged and you're very motivated. I can see that there were people who are motivated by your presentation, Sir Carl. See the difference that you are making, the inspiration that you are doing to a lot of these aspiring UKRNs really are something to that's what make my job even more me more meaningful. So thank you so much, Sir Carl. We well please stay until you can, but you're free to you're free to go if you need to, but we'll be happy to connect you guys with Sir Carl. Is there anything that you'd any social media you'd like them to follow you?
Uh, I'm not very active in
Instagram?
Facebook, guys, but I'm always active on Instagram. So my
Okay,
Instagram is Centigram. You can always ask or feel free to ask questions in there. Um,
awesome.
I'm in
All right.
UK, guys. I think you will have uh, the thing that I forgot to mention is the work-life balance here. So I'd like to highlight that
See,
one.
yeah.
Um, I felt that because in the when I used to work in the wards, probably only do 16 shifts or 17 shifts in a month, and there got loads of days for you to be able to rest, go somewhere, relax, so that you will feel somehow energized when you come back to your shift again. So that's what I really like in here, that they give you that work-life balance. And
Yeah.
anyway, there will always be bank shifts for Filipinos if they're like, that's what we call here extra shifts. If you want extra money. So
Awesome. That's really that's
got the
the best way to
control.
end your presentation there, Sir
Yeah.
Carl. I mean, that's really motivating. Thank you again. I hope this is not
Okay,
the
see
last
you.
time, Sir Carl. We'll see you soon, and please stay if you can. Thank you very much, Sir Carlson Japse, our very inspiring UKR and there, who has been really, really generous in his advices. Now, moving on to an equally lovely and experienced and inspiring, you see here already, speaker right now. I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker, and this one is really special. Of course, she's from Tarlac, and so let me know if you guys are from the north or if someone here from Tarlac. Please comment on the chat if you're from Tarlac. We're in Tarlac. She got her Philippine Professional Nursing Registration in 2008. So, ganun natin i-compute guys yung age ni ma'am. She worked in a tertiary private hospital in Tarlac as well, and a medical surgical nurse in her first 2 years and transferred in theaters in 2010. Now, she also completed her master's degree in nursing in 2012, and after a year, she decided to apply as a UKRN, and she then completed her master's degree in clinical ophthalmic practice last year, actually, from one of the universities in London, guys. So talagang totoo that you can really actually, go places if you really wanted to and to really learn more, right? And our next speaker actually moved to the UK last July 2014, almost 10 years, Miss Jim. And she was deployed by, of course, our ASC and our principal employer, Drake, as a theater nurse in the day surgery unit of King's College Hospital and Church Foundation Trust, and is still part of this trust even after almost 10 years. And she is KCH, actually, a trauma center and teaching hospital in Southeast London. Now, currently, she's a band seven, guys, clinical coordinator, looking after the scrub team and doing daily operation of theater, staff rota, and performance, resource management, and facilitates training staff and pre-registration students along with the practice teams. Wow, that is quite a resume there, you guys. I mean, if you're not inspired, I don't know what is. I'm truly inspired by this next speaker. Please welcome Miss Gem Ann Bautista. Hi, Miss Gem.
Hi, hello, good
How are
afternoon.
you?
I'm good.
Looking great.
Thank you.
Is it
Hello.
also hot out there in Southeast London or
Yeah,
29 degrees din ba?
yes, I'm not too far from Chelsea where Carl is at the moment. So yeah, we're just a bus ride away from each other. So yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, really?
Hello,
Okay.
everybody.
I'm happy that you are here. You know, we will wait if there are people from Tarlac. I'm sure there are because you know we get some guests from different parts of the country. But you want to go right ahead, sir, Miss
Mhm.
Jem?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Miss Jem has also prepared a little bit of presentation for us. So please stand by for if you do have any questions for our speakers, please put it in the chat box or question and Q&A. There's a Q&A here on Teams. So I hope you guys are ready to to experience that. Let me go right ahead and share Miss Gem's presentation. Just give me just a second while I'm opening it. I think there are some questions already here, Miss Gem. So I hope you're ready to answer some of them later on. But if you've just joined our webinar, welcome. We are here talking about advancing your UK career. And we talk about living and working in the UK. We just had our first speaker, Mr. Carl, talk about his experiences and career progression in the UK. And if you do have more questions, please type it in the chat box and let us know you're here. And of course, make your presence felt. Let me go right ahead and finally share screen of Miss Gem's presentation. There we go.
All right. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, and if there's any fellow Kapampangans in the group, Maya Pagat Panapon, kaya kayungan Ken. So
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. All right. So Carl has presented such a wonderful presentation earlier. So if you can see with my presentation, there's a bit of similarities, but there's also a bit of difference. So for Carl's path, he went for the nurse specialist role. And as for me, I went to the team leadership and management pathway, if I may say. So if you can maybe let me finish up until the end of my presentation, you can really see my message would be, guys, what message would I be giving to you is that, you know, here in the UK, there's so many career progression opportunities. So it's not just, you know, one type that you can go for. So like Carl has chosen to go for a nurse specialist role, but on my end, I chose to manage a team on the other hand. So, and it's not just these two that are available here in the UK. There's so many other possible career progression opportunities for you guys. And that's for you to, when you come here, when you're successful in your application, there's so much to discover. Yeah, so like what Gian has mentioned earlier, I started my career here in the UK a decade ago. So yeah, my licensure here in the UK was quite different. So at that time, there was no OSCE yet. We had a thing called Overseas Nursing Program. So please don't ask me about my age. So yeah, um, Overseas Nursing Program basically entails classroom sessions. So we were juggling our training within our workplace, respective workplace. So that's my actual department here in the UK. So I work in King's College Hospital. I work in their day case unit. So we're a separate unit, we're separate on our own. And King's College Hospital is one of the 4 trauma centers here in London. So when you say a trauma center here, maybe I can describe it as same thing as like a PGH level there in the Philippines. So it's a publicly funded hospital. And yeah, we cater to such a huge population, and the amount and the variety of cases that we cater to are just enormous, and classic, and the variety is just too much. And you know, you can really, it sometimes becomes a bit overwhelming that, you know, you cater to this huge amount of population and amount of cases. But you know, like what Carl said earlier, your trust will be there, your practice team will be there, your managers will be there to support you along your way. So again, going back, so yeah, I've done my overseas nursing program in 2015. So that entailed classroom sessions and doing paperwork in between and doing an oral presentation at the end. So none of the practical tests was required from us at that time. And in 2015 as well, yeah, I got my Band 5 registration. since I'm a theater nurse from the Philippines, so they also deployed me as a scrub practitioner here in the UK. So since 2015, yeah, I've been working the same theater department. And nearly about 3 years after, there was a Band 6 secondment post that was made available in our department. So here in the UK, if you can see, we keep on saying band, mad band. So unlike there in the Philippines, we call um, people like entry-level nurses or head nurse, supervisor, chief nurse. But here in the UK, it's not just within the clinical area, even with the administration people, they are classified and they progress according to band. So the entry level is what we call band 5. And the step higher than that, maybe on a like a head nurse, charge nurse level there in the Philippines, we call them band 6. And if you move a bit higher, that's the band 7, that's already the supervisory role, which I am currently on at the moment. And then there's also people who move past band 7s, we call them band 8s. They are the high level management people. So you can be a band 8, band B, 8B, band 8C, band 8D. I think there's also a band 8D. And yeah, so because it was just a secondment position, when we say secondment, you would just have to cover the person who originally is in charge of that role for usually 6 months or 12 months. So when the person came back after her long-term sickness, I had to go back to my original post as a band 5. Then a little before a year after, there was an opening again for a band 6 permanent job now, this time for a team leadership role. So it's a band 6 post. So I applied for it and luckily I was given that post. And shortly before the pandemic, there was again another opportunity for a secondment post. So it's a band 7 post. And I applied for it. I was successful. Then the person didn't come back anymore. So they offered out the position as a permanent post and I applied for it and I got it again. And recently, I just completed my master's degree. I applied for a master's degree program here. I've specialized in ophthalmology. And I also joined the Royal College of Nursing. So I applied to be one of their committee members within their ophthalmic group. So the Royal College of Nursing is the biggest nursing group here in the UK. Well, actually, it's considered one of the biggest nursing groups in the entire world. So we represent nurses and even students who are still under training as nurses. So we represent them in terms of education, in terms of development, in terms of improving services. And if they have issues at work as well, so Royal College of Nursing helps nurses with those things. Yeah, next, please, sir. And yeah, so that's basically what I have done so far in terms of my career. But yeah, in terms of my education and development, because here in the UK, education and development, we cannot emphasize it, we would like to let you guys know that we here in the UK, you just don't develop your, for example, clinical skills. It's very important for them as well for you to be working on your education and development needs as well. And King's and other NHS hospitals, they're very good in supporting people in terms of their CPT needs. Like what Carl said, as mentioned earlier, the trust continuously and consistently gives free CPD opportunities to their staff because each NHS trust wants their staff to develop and progress so that they can continue to motivate their staff and keep them. And it will be the benefit of the trust as well. If you have staff whom you take in as a band 5 as an entry registrant and then you help them progress, they will eventually blossom into your own leaders, into your own managers. So it's really a win-win for the trust, and it's also a win for you guys as practitioners. So yeah, in 2015 I completed my overseas nursing program, and in 2016 I'm not sure with other wards, but for us in theaters, I think it's also the same for other specialties. Your fundamental requirement is to have a mentorship, or what they call now as a student supervision certification. Because here in the UK, unlike there in the Philippines, they don't have clinical instructors. So alongside us clinical people, there's a practice development team. So the clinical managers and the practice development team were the ones in charge of looking after pre-registration students, like nursing students and those junior members of staff who have just joined the team, into integrating them, into teaching them, into learning all the ropes within the department. And then in between 2016, 2019, I did bits and pieces of different CPDs, but I think one of the one of the highlights would be the one I've done in 2019. So I managed to secure a scholarship program it's a leadership program, and I was a scholar. So during that time, it was just only a few months long, but I feel like that experience has opened so many doors for me. In that scholarship program, I met a lot of people who showed me the way on how I can progress in terms of my career and how I can go for my master's degree. Because at that time, it was really clear to me that I wanted to have a master's degree here in the UK, but I don't know how and where to start. So yeah, in 2020, well, it's quite unfortunate, that COVID erupted at that time as well. So I started my master's degree. I applied in UCL, so that's University College London. UCL has been consistently one of the top 10 universities in the whole world. It's not just here in the UK, it's not just in the Europe, but in the whole world. It's one of the top 10 universities. That's why I want to make you guys realize that, I am from Tarlac. I didn't study in a big university. I only studied in, one of the nursing schools in Tarlac. So at that time, it felt so intimidating. It's like I was asking myself, would I really be admitted? Would I really be entertained, to go for a master's degree in one of the universities here in the UK? But yeah, like what Gian and Carl has been mentioning earlier, there's no dream that's impossible as long as you're dedicated, as long as you're committed to that goal and to that vision. Yeah, next slide please, Sir Gian. Okay. I know it's been 10 years, but I've highlighted a lot of good things, but it's not always bed of roses, it's not always gummy bears and bubble gum every time. So Miss Liz can attest to this one of Drake and ASC as well. My biggest challenge was right at the start of my entry here in the UK. So when I completed my overseas nursing program requirements, so I was getting my stuff ready to submit to the Nursing and Midwifery Council. But then I got a message from ASC, from Drake, to say, GEM, the Nursing Midwifery Council, don't want to accept your application because they have some questions. So it felt like what I thought it might not be that bad, because I'm confident, because I know I'm so organized, I'm so particular with my paperwork. But then it turned out that the problem was they think I'm not the same person that I project to be on the paper. So they said my signatures are different. I don't look like the person in the photo. So I'm just really so grateful that I've applied with ASC and Drake. That's why I was just so excited as well, when they asked me if I can do this session with you guys. I said, of course, I would. I think I'm a living testament of how great ASC and Drake are. They just don't take in applications, process it, and then they deploy you. They don't leave you up until you are really ready to be standing on your own feet. So they went to our hometown in Tarlac. So they met with one of my siblings. They went to my old hospital. They got all the possible evidences that they can get, to help support my application here in the UK. It was such a difficult time for me because I was crying day and night. I cannot focus on work. When I get home, I would be really crying heavily because, it's like I felt like I left my job in the Philippines. I have so much high hopes, in my career here in the UK, and then all of a sudden they just don't want to accept my registration application. And to cut the story short, we managed to convince them that, I'm not a fraudster, I'm not a scammer. So they gave me my registration in 2015. And yeah, for that, I just want to say thank you again to ASC and to Drake for helping me at that time. And I'm just so grateful to you guys. Otherwise, I would have not experienced all of these things that I have been through for the past decade. Yeah, next one, please. Okay, so the other challenges, I've divided them into professional and personal ones actually. So since King's College Hospital is a trauma center, I felt a bit overwhelmed with the size of the workforce and the diversity of the workforce, because we are one separate unit. We're a unit on our own. So if you've seen the photo I've shown you earlier, that building, that's where we work, and that's us. So I felt like, how do I integrate myself into this huge team? It felt overwhelming initially. And also, if you come here in the UK, you can really see the healthcare world healthcare stage. So all of the socioeconomic trends like COVID, like what um, inflation, elections, there's no perfect healthcare system. So I would like to be really honest with you guys about that there's no perfect healthcare system wherever you go in anywhere you go in the world, in the Philippines, Asia, America, Canada, Australia. All healthcare systems in every single part of the world has their challenges. So how do you overcome those things? So start and focus with yourself. When you get here, of course, it's very understandable that you have so much things that you want to do. You just want to jump on things immediately. You're so excited, you have big dreams. But I agree with Carl. Start with yourself, start developing yourself, know your core, stick to your basics. You cannot go to the complex unless you master the basics, and keep your values as well. The culture here in the UK appreciates excellent work ethic. No matter how brilliant you are in terms of your skills, if your work ethic is poor, you will miss out on opportunities. It will be difficult for you to convince people about your career progression dreams. Sometimes they would even prefer somebody who doesn't have much experience, but if they know that their work ethic is excellent, that they are trainable, they're respectful, they're open-minded, they prefer to work with those people instead. And yeah, other challenges I've encountered is, your greatest challenge would be yourself. The limits you define, the limits you set around yourself is relying on you. So make the most of available opportunities. There's so much opportunities here in the UK. Equally, do not just wait for those opportunities. Create them. Set smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. I know, it's like you hear all of these stories, but start with square one. Do not jump from square one to square four to square six. Enjoy the process, take in as much as possible within every single step that you're taking. And of course, don't forget to have fun. UK, if you start your life here in the UK, you have the liberty, the opportunity to be traveling, to be experiencing things, both in work and in your personal life. And also, I was conflicted at that time because I'm such a huge introvert. My greatest challenge was confidence in communicating. Here in the UK, nurses are expected to be active members of the team, and the emphasis is on the word active. You just don't say yes and amen to the doctors every time. So I was so intimidated as to how I can communicate with my colleagues, especially the consultants, how I can bring to their attention whatever concern I have and whatever plan I have. So there's also a multitude of languages, personalities, and culture you will be working with. But then when you get here, it's intimidating initially, but you will get to see the beauty in diversity. So hone your knowledge and skills and reflect constantly as well. Like what I said earlier, start with the basics. And yeah, those are my career highlights so far. So that's me on the bottom. That's me as a scrub practitioner. And the one on top is that was taken recently. I've just graduated from UCL, and I've also been given the opportunity to do a talk in the previous nursing conference held by Royal College of Nursing back in November. So yeah, that's my career journey so far. So my parting words for you guys is, just enjoy the adventure, take in the view. If it becomes a bit rainy, if it becomes a bit slippery, just enjoy the adventure. Treat your journey here in the UK as an absolute adventure. Um, Loosen up, try to enjoy, mingle with your colleagues, get to know friends here. Your colleagues, your friends here will eventually turn into your second family. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, yeah, I think we still have a bit of time to answer them. Yeah, and all the best to you guys, to your UK application.
All right, all right. Oh my God, that's very, very inspiring, you guys. I don't know what is not inspired. I mean, all of us have been really inspired by both of our speakers this afternoon or this morning or in the UK. I particularly love the grit that you have, Jem. You know, coming from also speaking also from a fellow introvert, it's also very, very, it's very challenging to really go after what you really want. But I fully agree with you. It starts with yourself. It starts within you. It starts with what do you really want to progress? Do you want to progress? Do you want to achieve this and that? And I agree with jumping from point A to point B. It really have to, master point A before you jump to point B. And I really resonate with that. I hope you guys did too. We have messages here from Ms. Loreto and Jory, very inspiring, Miss Jem. You've inspired us even more to apply and be go after our UK dream. I guess it's really important um, to just really be inspired every day and then and just go with what we really truly want in our career in the UK. So I guess we that's it for our speakers. We are going to our Q&A session. Miss Jem will be has lovely agreed to be with us for to answer some of your questions. Will be going to to each of your questions. If you have them, please feel free to put it in the chat box. We also have Q&A part here on Teams that you can use, and you can feel free to, type in your questions. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please type it in now so that we can go ahead and answer them while our speaker is here or are here. If Carl is still, here in with us in our with us here. So let's go right ahead and ask questions. We have a question here from Diane. Is King's currently hiring nurses? I think that's from a question for our recruitment team. I think currently I can answer that. I think currently we are waiting for them. They did hire in the past, but we are waiting for them. So currently there's no hiring, I think, from King's. When is open appointment again, nursing carrier? Do you know the answer to this, Jen? When is open appointment nursing carrier again?
Um, is that
No,
the
I think that's for the recruitment team, right? I think that's it. Yeah. I think carer. Nurse carer is what he meant. It's tama ba yun, Miss Damika? Is that right? I think we also have some questions here on the Q&A box. Let's go right ahead and check that if we have some questions. What is the current situation in the UK of hiring internationally educated trained nurses, at least for King's College, Jem? Does the UK election or NHS budget constraints affect recruitment? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's true that of course, the NHS is facing budget cuts because of worldwide problem with inflation. But I believe we are still looking for people to fill in gaps because
Yeah.
King's is such a huge hospital, and there's always a need for clinical people, especially nurses. So yeah, like what Gian has mentioned, I'm not quite
Mhm.
sure, as to the actual number and the actual status of Kings at the moment. But yeah, if you continue to liaise with ASC and with Drake, maybe if there's none for Kings at the moment, there's so many NHS trusts here in the UK that you can be deployed into. Um, but if you really prefer, for example, to work in a trauma center as well, and you want to experience that, you can always apply and um, integrate and stabilize yourself first into the first NHS trust that you will be deployed into. Then you can always transfer. The good thing here in the UK, generally speaking, is that, for example, if you work in a certain hospital, there's what we call transfer window, that within a trust, you can transfer from one clinical area to the other without, the rigorous application process. Because you are already employed within the hospital, you can always transfer. And it also, for example, you've started in one trust, and after your initial contract with them, if you think that you want to progress your career, or if you want to try another hospital, you can always apply to another trust. So like
Yeah.
what I said earlier, there's so much opportunities. The UK culture is just is focused on, development. They don't restrain people from expanding their career options. So NHS is such a huge group, so you won't run out of opportunities.
Okay. I think we don't have. We'll wait for a few more questions, but right now we don't have much question. I think most of them were inspired with your presentation, Miss Jem and kay Sir Carlo. No, I think all of the questions. Don't worry, guys. We'll send you a recording of this to your email, the Ron registered email. And if you do have some questions, feel free to just go to our Facebook page or email us with your question. Email us at jobs at ascglobalrecruitment.com. Now, let me just check some of the questions here. Okay, some of the questions are actually more on the requirements to the UK. I think our team are online to answer some of them. But Miss Jem, I think if any other like parting words that you can leave to us in advancing your career in the UK.
Yeah. I think my last piece of advice for you guys is, yeah, I think I placed it in my one of my slides earlier. You embrace you. You embrace your
Yeah.
uniqueness. Don't be ashamed
Yeah.
of it. Don't try to change yourself just to fit in. You know, the UK culture embraces uniqueness, diversity. So
Uh,
don't be ashamed of your accent, you know. Sometimes,
yes.
we even jokingly, make fun of our accents with our other colleagues. We'll be
Yeah.
working with various cultures, people from all over the globe here, and we enjoy, we recognize, and we celebrate each other's uniqueness. So,
Yeah. I
I would
love
like,
that.
yeah, reiterate as well. When you reach here
Yeah.
in the UK, it's an even playing ground for everybody. You may have come from this much experience, or you have studied from this university. Once you're here in the UK, it's an even playing ground for everybody.
That's
So
good.
it's just but human, to feel intimidated, to feel shy at the start, but you know, believe in yourself, believe in your capacity, because if you manage to go through everything and you manage to get a spot and work as a UK nurse here, that means a lot already, that they believe that you have the capacity, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, and of course you have to prove them that you have the right attitude, you know if you really
Yeah.
want to progress in your career here. All those three things, knowledge, skills, and attitude, they go hand in hand. I cannot emphasize work ethic much, like, yeah, work
Okay.
ethic is very crucial.
That's very true. And I like that, it's UK, like you mentioned, Jem, it's really about diversity. And, you
Yeah,
know, what is really inspiring about you is that, you didn't have to go to a, big university here in the Philippines or big hospital. All you need to do is, to have that
just have a
motivation
big
within
dream.
yourself. Yeah, big dream, right? I
Oh,
mean, that's
big
really
dream.
what it
Yeah.
takes.
Mm.
I guess that's all our questions in. We do have, guys, if you have some questions, Miss Madge Mahapi in the chat box, our recruitment manager here is online, ready to reply to your chats. And at this point, I want to say thank you again to Miss Jem and Mr.
You.
Carl for sparing their time here, their Thursday morning time here, today, in this lovely career orientation for our aspiring nurses and even AHPs. We have some medtechs and radtechs here online who have joined us today. We do have, please just apply, just click on the link. We have sent over the link. Miss Madge has sent over the link. Maha sent over the link there. She also even sent you guys her email, mpenol at ascglobalrecruitment.com for you to answer some of the questions. Please feel free to browse in the chat, to look for the email and the link. She also sent some links here there for you to apply that so that we can start, similar to Jem and Carl, your UK dream, right, like right now, thank you again, Jem. Again, guys, I'll leave you this QR code to apply. Please feel free to scan it, or if you're unable to scan, the link is on the chat box. Now, ASC again, no fees collected. We have been here. We've been doing recruitment. Today we were one of the pioneers of recruiting healthcare professionals to the United Kingdom. In fact, in 2021, we're the most trusted agency in deploying to the UK, and we still are deploying a lot of nurses. We are preparing for more. Look at these photos here, more deployments coming in and going out of the country to the UK. And we're really happy faces here, as you can see, really just starting their career in the UK. Now, as you mentioned, we do have upcoming clients as well back, and who's going to be coming to the Philippines in September, that will do face-to-face interview. Really excited about that. And also, as you know, as I mentioned, ASC is also an ISO certified company, and we don't collect fees, and we're an ethical company as well. And as I mentioned, one of the most trusted recruitment agency in the UK. In fact, the most trusted back in 2021. So again, if we are open to see you in person, please visit us in our Cebu office, and then in Manila office in Makati, in Trident Tower, in Hill Puyat Avenue in Makati. So please also reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course on Messenger. All right, that's about it for our career orientation. Feel free to send in your questions again, and of course, screenshot this, and of course, screenshot the email of Miss Madge or Maha Penol there, mpenol at ascglobalrecruitment.com. We're happy to answer some of your questions. Once again, I'm Gian Adato. I am your host. I hope you guys learned a lot this afternoon. Did you? Did you learn a lot? Did you get a lot of learnings this afternoon? All of the 110 who joined us, actually 113 earlier, and it's one of the biggest live attendees we've had in the past. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Loreto. I know you're very smart, and you learned a lot. Thank you very much again to Jem Ann and our other speaker, Mr. Carlson, for gracing us this afternoon. Again, thank you. It has been Gian Dato for your career orientation. Signing off. Until the next, guys. Bye. Bring it. Yeah.